You know, with so much bad stuff currently floating around in the air, forest fire smoke from the next state to the south, and a virus that America hasn't been able to get rid of for the last 17, 18 months at this point, which is really, really stupid, by the way. I wish we could just blow those particular problems away. The smoke and the virus, I wish we could blow them away. Just clear the air and let us get outside and have some fun again, That would be nice. But until such time, I'm just gonna have to make do with this instead. I'm just gonna have to make do with what I have here, and that is Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy. Is it Siege or Earthrise? I'm not entirely certain. Doesn't really matter. Deluxe-class Rotorstorm, which is technically a Generations Selects figure. So I bought this um, the day before I shot the video for Energon Towline. Is that Energon? Yeah, Energon Towline. On the day that I shot that video, or the day before I shot that video, I got this when I went to Bobakhan. I think I said in that video or the one afterwards with Snapdragon, I said, "Oh yeah, I went to Bobakhan the day before, so I got this when I was at Bobakhan." So yes, Rotorstorm here is a repaint and a slight remold, if I understand correctly, of I think it's Deluxe Springer. He's just a robot that transforms into a helicopter. They repainted it and renamed it Rotorstorm. So that's what this is. Which is kind of weird. Rotorstorm always kind of has that problem because, like, his original incarnation came from 1997's Transformers Machine Wars, which sounds weirder than it actually was, which only went for one year, and everybody was kind of still so hyped up on Beast Wars at the time. Beast Wars was 96 to 99, and the original G1, or I guess it would be G2 Rotorstorm at that point, which was from Machine Wars, would have showed up around that time. And in his original incarnation, Rotorstorm was a repaint of Sandstorm, which was a helicopter that could transform into a robot. Was it a robot that could transform into a helicopter? Anyways, this guy has been nothing but repaints forever, at least as far as I could tell on the GF Wiki. Oh, yeah, you can see what they mean by that. Hmm. Come on, turn. Boy, those thigh swivels are tight. Hmm. Okay, cool. Alright. Well, I thought it was. It kind of is. Alright, whatever. So here is Rotorstorm, and I just now realized I'm wearing a blue shirt carrying a blue figure. Although it's kind of weird on screen. Yeah, this is kind of a light blue and kind of matches up with this, but it's actually more of a turquoise on my screen. There's a hint of green. I've been getting a lot of turquoise figures in the last 3 or 4 years, where it's like the color of the plastic in person is one color, but then when you look at it like on the screen or whatever it is, it's actually a different color. It's not the first time this has happened to me in the last few years. So, but yeah, anyways, be aware that it's a little slightly deceptive, not on purpose, obviously, but anyways, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Anyways, now TF Wiki went out of its way to point out that these two panels here, the way that they're anchored into place with, I guess they're pins. Yeah, they're metal pins that go up through the plastic. It says that the plastic is really thin and you should take extra care when you're dealing with these two behind the shin panels. So be aware that is an issue. Yeah, the sculpting looks nice. And then he also comes with a not so identical pair of blasters that can be held in the hand, or they can be, and I don't know which order, they can also be plugged in on top of each other. The bottom one here is dark gray and the one above is dark blue. So don't get them confused. Now, these two blasters are apparently an homage to, it's an homage to, I think they're like Micromasters back in the day, or was it Target Masters? I think, where in this particular case you had two figures or two separate mini bots, mini cons. Well, nowadays we'd call them mini cons or Titan Masters, whatever. You'd take two of them, you'd fold them up into their respective modes, and then you'd pin them together. So that's what this is supposed to represent. But there's no indication whatsoever. I mean, they're molded completely differently, and they're molded in different colors of plastic. But that being said, that's what these are supposed to be, even though officially that's not what they actually are. These are just turrets that you attach to the forearms or you attach to his hands. So that's supposed to be. Do it that way, but I'm not going to peg them in all the way because I'm terrified. As with many G1 figures, you pin them in too far, and you might lose the pin. So there's the completed Rotorstorm figure. I'm going to pull out the instructions because I'm not. I suppose I could guess my way through most of this, but there's kind of an oddity because you see he's supposed to turn into a helicopter like this, but oddly he's got not one but two pairs of cockpit canopies on the bottom of his pants. Flared trousers, I suppose. But anyways, I think it might be a little tricky to. Oh, weird. Okay, so he's got an ankle joint, and then he has a transformation joint in exactly the same spot. Oh, and then he has a forward and a back ankle joint at the same time. This is weird. Okay, so his ankle can go down and can go up. It can also twist side. Can also twist side to side a little bit. But then there's a transformation joint which completely disconnects the foot altogether. So interesting way they did that. And for the first time ever, that is in his second appearance ever, not only does he have, well, he does have movable hips. A little tight. I think I'll wear these down a little bit. That almost go to 90 degrees, but not quite. But for the first time ever, he now has posable knees. Well, that's not strictly true, but because the G1 version did have posable knees and hips, but the problem is that the knees were actually tied together. It was a single knee, so it was kind of like playing around with a Minicon or a Micromaster, because they had the shins were fused together and then the thighs were fused together. Well, it was the same thing with Machine Wars, the original Rotorstorm and Sandstorm. The knees were fused together, so you could never actually have separate leg motion. It was technically it was monoleg on the original version. So, like you could get his legs posed like this in the G1 version, but his knees were because there's actual plastic bar going between them. So for the first time ever, officially, he can actually pose his legs separately. So good to know. And you can pin the. So you can pin the turrets, either turret. I'm not certain which color is on which side. It doesn't really matter. Although there's very clearly it's a Gatling gun, machine barrels here, and then there's some sort of laser guns on this side. So there is a difference in the molds. Same function, different mold. So you can pin the turrets into his hands if you so desire. He also has friction in his wrists. And then you can also do a double barrel or a double weapon thingy by pinning the two weapons together like so. That's nice. Doesn't pin on there very well though. Not certain what's up with that. Oh, he's also got a waist swivel as well, friction. That's probably for transformations. So nice sculpting detail. His legs around the cockpit, sculpting's nice. The arms, his back, his chest. I wonder if Rotorstorm. Oh no, he wasn't. I was gonna say. I wonder if he was not a target master. Yeah, I wondered if he was a target master. Where you could fold the panel down, and then he had his stats on the inside. But then I remembered. Oh yeah, the original version, the cockpit was located on his chest, but it's just painted to look like, or it's molded and painted to look like he's got a cockpit on his chest, which he absolutely does not. It's just supposed to look like it, but it's not actually. Was that be anti-kibble? No. No, in this case, no, it would not be anti-kibble. So, okay, moving on. So I'm going to attempt to transform this guy without looking at the instructions first. I just have to remember that one goes on the top and one goes on the bottom. I'm guessing it goes like that. I feel like the head goes down in there, but I'm not entirely certain. Well, his his biceps definitely just peg right into the sides of his side of his torso. That's obvious, and that is supposed to fold down like that. He has two different model numbers. There's one under his left arm and one under his right arm. Getting distracted. Okay, I feel like the tail boom extends outwards somehow, but I'm not sure how. But I also feel like the chest should slip forward or slip backwards. Oh, it doesn't slip forward. Now that comes out. Oh, what's happening? Oh, okay, there we go. Yep, that's what I wanted. Okay, yep, that's what I wanted. There we go. Now just remember how you did that next time, Ava. There we go. That is what I wanted. I must confess, I don't have many helicopter transformers. Just don't have any. Oh, okay, and then those go there. All right. Now we get to decide which one of those goes there. Wow, I feel like I recently saw this kind of transformation. And then that. Oh, okay. So his feet become. I was wondering if I'd seen something like this recently. Yeah, his feet turn into outriggers. They turn into pylons to either side of the helicopter. That's right. Thigh. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I don't have many helicopter transformers. I think the most prominent example might be Blackout from, well, no, I think. Well, yeah, I know I've got Blackout from Bayformers 1. Technically Bayformers 1, because like Bayformers 2, it was Grindor, so. Do I just... Oh, maybe I don't lock the back piece into position yet. Maybe I have to wait a little. Okay, so it looks like I have to fold up the one pair of leg, or the one leg a lot earlier than I thought I would. And then that, oops. Yep, that goes like that. Okay, cool. Alright, so I just have to fold up the one leg earlier than I thought I would. Appears I folded up the, okay, so you want to deal with the legs first, or the torso and the legs, and then the arms are the last thing. Okay. It's a very ambitious thing to have vehicle mode with two very visible cockpits. It's like, why would you do that? I mean, I knew about that when I saw the original Springer version. I was like, why would you have two cockpits? But I'm like, you know what, I don't care. And put the arms in to seal everything back up. Okay. So the elbows actually peg into a tab on kind of the heels, I guess. But then you also have to peg the elbows into a tab on the top of the torso. Gosh. Let's see, that'd be this left arm is, or this right arm's really fighting me. It goes into one, but not the other. There we go. That's a satisfying click right there. There we go. That's what I wanted. Except not, because the two cockpits are twisted very strangely. Something's misaligned, but I'm not sure how to correct it. Maybe I've got the legs twisted in the wrong place. Like maybe instead of the thigh swivel, I should have used the hip swivel. Not certain. Well, it's not perfect. Something's definitely out of alignment. Well, I think that's close enough. Spread the rotors evenly. Now, why couldn't have Mashin Helicop from the what was the Super Sentai last year? Mashin Sentai Major, Helicop had the exact same problem. I'm like, you know what? That's just an easy thing to do. Why'd you have to complicate it? Just, come on. I feel like I forced something in this transformation, but the problem is I don't know where to correct it. Strange. I'm guessing this guy is compatible with the weaponizers, I think they're called. So I think he's compatible with those. Yeah, that looks about right. There is Rotorstorm in his, I almost said jet mode, you're right, his helicopter mode. And by the way, it's a very nice rotor feature they've got there. They both spin quite nicely. Not a problem at all. Now you'll probably notice it here. I'm not sure how well it's going to come across on my camera, but the hips or the I guess the thighs are kind of slightly twisted like this. You know, they're twisted oh so slightly, but I can't quite figure out if you look at the front of the cockpit, if you look at the cockpit here versus what's happening underneath back here, they're twisted, but I'm not certain if that's me or if that's the manufacturer. Not entirely certain. I mean, if you don't look too closely, it's just fine. It's like, yeah, I noticed it and I can see it, and I'm like, I feel like something's not pegged in correctly or something. Does this rotor extend any further? Nope. Does it go in any further? Nope, it does not. Okay. Alright. So yeah, there you go. There's... Oh, they deliberately... Did they? Yeah. They deliberately slanted the rotor, or the main rotor, so that it's tilted oh so slightly like this. I don't know how well it's going to come across, but that is what it's doing. That's nice. I like that they tilted it like that. That's good. That's good. There is a very pink landing gear right there, but it's totally going to be scratching up all the paint on the underside there. It's going to get scratched up. So, no, you cannot roll this on the ground because there's no wheels anywhere at play here. So, just don't. You'll screw it up. You'll scratch the paint. Then I wonder if I can take the cannon turrets and stick them off to the sides because the original Rotorstorm and Sandstorm, for that matter, the repaint, the engines on the sides to either side of the rotor, you'd press a button on the back and the two engines would flip downwards and they became missile launchers. So what I want to know is, can I take the turrets and stick them onto the side to kind of sort of do the same thing? And the answer is yeah, you can, actually. So you can get the guns to either side. So instead of pegging them under the feet on these pylons, instead you can peg them onto the engine housings, I guess is what those are. Now there's an extra pair. There's an extra pair of holes here and here. Okay, then there's an extra pair of holes here and here. Not quite certain what those are used for. It might be for a weaponizer. I'm not entirely certain because if I try to put one of the because if it's in robot mode, let's see, this would be yeah. If it's in robot mode, then the torso is oriented this way, and you can see that both of those holes are covered up. But then if you let those point downwards for robot mode specifically, then they're available. But I don't know why they would do that, because you can't put either one in there. I wonder what that's for. Maybe I need to open the instructions after all. Oh god, is this guy a triple changer? I don't think so. I seriously doubt it. Maybe I should crack the instructions. I want to find out what those holes are for. I don't think they're for weaponizers, although I could be entirely wrong. Hasbro Step 5 and 6, I think you could have illustrated that a bit better. For changing into helicopter mode, I think you could have done steps 5 and 6. You could have pictured that a little differently. The only thing it says about the turrets specifically, or the, I don't know, what were those plug and play things? they they only peg under the either the pylons to either side of the jet mode. There it is, jet mode, helicopter mode, or they peg into the hands. Now I think you can get away with pegging it into the arms. I think you can peg it into the side of the shoulders as well. That's fine. So I think that's probably for a weaponizer. But then again, what could you fit in there? I don't think you could. Now I only have one weaponizer, and I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to put any. None of them would be able to fit in there. So I don't understand exactly what they're asking me to do there. It's very strange. So there's Generation Select, which just means it's a higher price point repaint of Rotorstorm, Deluxe Rotorstorm. Not bad, not bad. Nice detail. Bit ambitious having two visible cockpits just for the sake of symmetry in the robot mode. That's a very strange way of doing it. But to be fair, if it'd been symmetrical in the I'm so used to saying jet or fighter mode. If it was symmetrical in the helicopter mode, then you go to robot mode and the legs would be different. I suppose it's just a way of mixing things up. Whatever. Okay. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you very much for tuning in.